Hi guys and gals, just a little shorter. I don't think it's going to be a long video. It's not about me workshop machining, but it's about anything garage, Stevie GTR. Motorcycle, I did mention in a few episodes of doing this little listen to this engine that I were selling my Ducati Multistrada out of necessity more than anything. I suppose the reason were twofold. The first, I bought this Multistrada brand new, cost quite a fortune. It was a Skyhook 1200S Touring with just about every extra you could get on it, apart from a quick release fuel cap. Everything else, like 2,000 quid's worth of titanium exhaust system, an upmat chip and decat and everything. Anyway, I decided it probably had to go for well, two reasons. One is I spent nearly 20 grand on that bike when I bought it, and I've had it. It was like a 65th birthday present, if you like, and I've loved it and I've ridden it and I've never scratched or damaged it in any way, and I've done some, well, I did 16,000 miles on it, but you know, every year it's going down by another grand and 1,500 quid or whatever. And I thought, you know, I don't ride my bike enough to warrant the devaluing of what it is. You know, I'm getting to an age where I'm looking at my savings and seeing what I've got left and thinking, yeah, you know, it won't last forever. So I put it on eBay, and I sold it. And then I was looking for something lighter, something older that wouldn't devalue so much, that was still reliable, easy to work on, wouldn't have to go to dealers for servicing, so you got your book stamped anymore, it wouldn't matter. Anyway, I found it in 2011, full service history at Alan Jeffries at Shipley, and it was at Eddie's Motorcycles at Tadcaster, if any of you know it. I wonder, yeah, I bet Andrew Whale knows him, because I think he lives out York way. Anyway, they advertised a 2011 BMW F800 ST, which is sport touring, and it looked in the pictures quite nice. It were white and black and grey, and I thought, I'm going to go and have a look at that. So I rang and went next morning, and I was smitten by it. It was lovely, which you'll see soon on a little video I'm going to do. But yeah, what a lovely thing, and it's so much lighter to pick up off at stand, put on centre stand. It does, well, it's showing something like 68 to gallon or something at the moment. When you're riding, you can have your constant readout, and it's phenomenal on fuel. Now, my Multistrada, I'd go to Tesco in Leeds at Garforth, fill up, and it was 22 litre tank, so it was a big sod. Fill up with jungle juice, you know, 99 octane stuff, super plus. And then I'd go to meet my friends, usually at a Squire's Cafe, and then we'd go off maybe to Scarborough or whatever, or Fridaythorpe. But we'd always stop at Fridaythorpe, Seaways Cafe, for a coffee or whatever, and a chat. And my fuel gauge had always, by then, gone down by a couple of bars, maybe 8 or 10 bars. Then we'd go to the coast, and then come back home to Squire's, all meet up, have a coffee, and then go home. And by then, my light would be flashing, saying that I were on reserve. So basically, it were probably doing 40 odd or 50 to gallon around there. This thing, I filled it up at Tesco, all the little bars went right to the top. I come home here, so filled it up on my way home back from Amos tea. I came home here, taxed it, I believe, yeah. Then I went to meet my mate, two of my mates, at Squire's Cafe to go for a ride out, because I'd never used it. And I met him there. We went out to Fridaythorpe again, and back home to Cafe, and then back here, which probably a round trip of 100 mile, I don't know, maybe 90 mile, might be 85, 90 mile in total. The fuel gauge, as you see on video, what I show you, hasn't even come off full. It's still on full. Now, I knew that they were renowned for being right good on fuel. The engine is it's that Rotax engine. The new BSA's using that, you know, but with different casings on it. That new Gold Star they're doing. There's quite a few people use that Rotax engine, and they clad it however you want. What a lovely engine. It's 800cc, makes 85 brake horsepower, about 60 foot-pounds of torque, which is not a lot. Not like my Multistrada that were 160 horsepower or something. Mental thing that was. So it's tamed me down, slowed me down. It's like half the weight to feel it. You'd think so, and it's lovely. Even at like 65, 70, the wind isn't that bad on it. It's quite nice. I'll probably do a review at some point with my little GoPro. But I just thought I'd do this little video for those that do like motorcycling, and I'm well chuffed with it. And I paid £2.5 grand, so it can sit in there year in year out now, and it's never going to devalue down. Well, it'll always be worth £2 grand, won't it, forever? But it's absolutely immaculate, as you'll see. Paintwork, not a scratch on it. It's a lovely thing, being well looked after. And something for me to retire, ride into me further retirement, should I say. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd show it. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, I'll put some clips of my Multistrada in before it. Probably a little bit of me riding it, because we've done some ride trips on it, out to Horse, to Cheese Factory and stuff like that. So I might put a little clip of that in, so you can, I mean, it was a fast thing, but hey, I'm 71 years old, so you know, if I did 100 mile an hour now, my brain would be back there somewhere. I'd break my neck, you know. So I'm better off on something like this, steady away, stick to the speed limits mostly, and enjoy it. See you later, guys. There was just a little bit I forgot to add in to what I'd said in that intro, and that was when you see the video about me Ducati showing it and talking about going for a service, etc. At that point I was damned to sell it. I was definitely going to keep it, but I don't know. I did go out on it a couple of times, and then I realised I'm getting old, and it was way too heavy for me, and I thought if I drop this I'm in trouble. So you will see me saying I'm not going to sell it, and then next thing it's gone. I just thought I'd add that little bit in. Okay, avoids confusion. Right guys, so let's put some light on. Turn that off. So, the Multistrada 1200S Touring with a lot of extras. I spec'd this bike up when I bought it in 2017, and it came with all sorts of bits and bats, and it had a problem, which was an oil leak on one of the cams, and Cobb and Jagger, which is Leeds Ducati, or Ducati Leeds, took it back and loaned me a bike, and I had the loan bike for 2 months. I did something like 3,000 miles on their demo bike. Well, this thing was being fixed, but eventually it did get fixed. We'd only done we bought it brand new, and I went to Scarborough, which was about 65, 70 mile. And when we got there, there was oil down here, down that sump yard there. We're all covered in oil. And it turned out that there were an O-ring in one of the camshaft covers that had been nipped in manufacture. So they fixed it, and it's been absolutely fantastic. What a bike. I've had a lot of bikes, and this is probably one of the best I've ever owned. I spec'd it up. I've changed this screen and put an MRA with the vane on the top, so you can adjust it up and down. I bought some from Italy. These came genuine LED spotlights. I put Givi side protection bars on it, and I put shorty levers on it. It's been a superb bike. I spec'd it with a full Termagoni race exhaust system with the Ducati in titanium, and they wouldn't fit it, wouldn't Cobb & Jagger Ducati leads, until the bike was running. So it had to go back after, I think it was 600 mile, and then they fitted all this system and put the upmap chip in it as well. These seat covers, they came from Italy, and I fitted them myself. I've still got the originals, but I fitted those. Took some doing because they're all stapled underneath. I've got full luggage for it. Up there, never been used, like brand new, the original panniers. And up there, if you can see that, is a complete Ducati exhaust system, brand new, and the down map chip, if you like to call it that. So it's leaving us, unfortunately. Since 2017 it's always had that on it, the Optimate, never unplugged until I ride it. So yeah, it's leaving us. So let's have a look what's wrong. It's been a fantastic bike. Got the key. Let's press the button. There she goes. I'll turn it off and back on actually so you can see this. So watch what it shows when you turn it on. Racing. But you can see that it says date service light. It's got 16,237 mile on the clock, and it's got to have a service. Okay, so we've got full sat nav on it, we've got heated grips on it, we've got spotlights on it, we've got fancy seat on it with the gel pad, upmap chip, Termagoni race exhaust system, and a pretty much melted number plate from, you can see that, look at the state of it. I'm using Pilot Road 4s, or the 5s, 4s. They're brand new. Yeah, I do use it and I give it a bit. I'm a bit of an old gimmer, but I do use it a bit. So, back away. It's leaving us. Where's it going? Well, it's booked in the day after tomorrow at Cobb & Jagger, and they're going to pick it up for me and they're going to do the full service on it, and it's the Desmo service, which means it's got to have the timing belts done. I actually have to change the plugs, the valve checks. Big service. It's a bag of sand, £1,000 mate, £1,000 for a service on that. I mean, for £1,000 you could actually buy a nice bike, couldn't you? You could buy an old Bandit or something and it'd run for years. But £20,000 bike. Oh well, guys, unfortunately it's got to go for a service, and then when it comes back we're going to be using it. Hey, I'm not getting rid of it. I couldn't get rid of that, could I? Not a chance. This is a bike we've been on with for years, and it's never, I started it, never finished it. What is it? It's a beautiful 6,800 miles from new Gixxer 750, and I stripped it to do that. And you know what? That's been like that for nearly 3 years. I polished it all. An absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. Anodized fork legs on it. Upside down is lovely, proper piece of kit. I ran it for about 25-30 minutes to get up to temperature. It ran on 3 cylinders, it wouldn't run on 4, and eventually it did, it come back and it ran on 4. Rings must have been stuck. It'd been stood for 19 years in a garage down in Bournemouth, I believe. Yeah, we've got so many projects on the go.
Halls it is next.
Keep me out of that cheese factory, that's all.
We're not going there.
We're not going, just go over.
We're not going that way.
Yeah, we're going other way. You'll get your cheese, Phil.
I've got some. I'm going to have some tonight. Some apricot and cheese.
Some of these bends are quite tight.
Won't affect it. Won't affect it. He's saying bring it on. Tiny. Bring it on.
Right then.
So what's that, Ribblehead Viaduct?
Yes.
Ribblehead Viaduct.
Ribble's Head Viaduct.
It's actually Ribble's Head. Yeah, Ribble's Head.
Is there an S in it?
Yeah, Ribble's Head Viaduct.
Ribble's Head
Yeah, Ribble's Head.
Viaduct and the mountains around
It
it.
said Ribble's Head on off.
I've got good science.
We're up in them there hills.
Well, hi everyone. The workshop seems fine. Doesn't seem to be a problem. Everything seems hunky-dory. But there's something amiss. The motorbike has gone. So today I put my motorbike, well, a couple of days ago, I put my motorbike on eBay for sale. And today, this morning, 9 o'clock, I got a phone call from a guy in Birmingham. I'm in Leeds. And he bought the bike over the phone, literally. Up there was all the tackle that went with the bike, which is now gone, and the only thing I've got left is my Schubert helmet. So we've got a hole in the garage. What we're going to do about it? Well, tomorrow I'm going to go look at a motorbike, a smaller one. It's you build up, don't you? When you're young, you get bigger. You start with a 50 and a 125 and a 250 and whatever, which I did over my lifetime. I've gone up and up and up and ended up with, I think the biggest were a GSX 1400, GSX 1000 were a monster. Then the Ducati Multistrada that sat there, which is now gone. So what am I going to replace it with? Well, I'm going to go look at a bike tomorrow in Tadcaster. I don't know whether I'll buy it or not, I don't know. But I'll bring you up to date as things progress. Well guys, that's my replacement for my Ducati Multistrada. It's a BMW F800 ST Sport Touring. It's only 85 horsepower outside of about 160 on Ducati. But the weight of it is so much lighter. I mean, I used to struggle just to pull it up off a stand, my Multistrada, but this is lovely. We went out for a ride yesterday, did about 100 mile altogether, probably just under. Quite amazing thing. In fact, I'm going to show you something that has amazed me. Now, Ducati, it wasn't bad on fuel. It often show like 50 to the gallon, which I'm sure were fairly correct. But just have a look at this. Right, so that is the fuel gauge, and it's right up to the top, full. I'm not lying here. I went to Garforth near Leeds, Tesco, and filled up with Super Plus fuel yesterday morning after I bought this, and I had it MOT. Well, I bought it on Thursday. I got it MOT'd on Friday. And then drove it home and taxed it, and then I went back to Tesco, filled up with fuel, came back home here and went off to a place called Sherburn Squires Cafe, which is at Newthorpe near Sherburn in Helmet. Met some friends, and then off we went to Bridethorpe, which is sort of halfway to Scarborough, and pulled up there, stopped a couple of hours, then we came back, went to Sherburn in Helmet again, had a coffee, a drink, and home, back here. The fuel gauge hadn't even moved. At some points, while I was riding like 60 mile an hour, it was showing over 75 to a gallon. Now, I don't know if I can get it up on here. Let's have a look. That's saying, don't know what that 3.4 is. 68. So it's showing 68, which is what it's averaged fuel consumption since. Oh shit! Sorry, that's what I start a motor. Oops. Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing. The bike's done 43,000 miles, but it's like a new one. Absolutely stunning. ABS. It hasn't got any electrical rider aids apart from ABS. First thing I did was I took this tank cover off, which is not a tank. The tank's under the seat. It's just a dummy, and the battery's here, and there's a space here for a first aid kit or a tyre puncture kit. So when the battery goes, I connected up my Optimate, and I had an old one on the wall over there where that mark is, but I bought a new one. So I've put Optimate on there, and there's my lead that I can plug into the bike for winter. So that's done. Other thing, well, I thought it was a bit low on handlebars. I noticed that this here, what cranks right down here. Anyway, I measured from centre handlebar to ground, and it was 40 3/8. And I've loosened clamps, and I've lifted it so it still doesn't look stupid. Well, it looks better than it did actually, because it looked like they were down, and I've gained nearly an inch of lift on there, and it's brought them further back, so it feels a lot better to sit on. Only thing I don't like is indicators. So for left you press that, and for right you press that, and for cancel you press that. If you press them both together you get your hazards. If you turn your ignition off and within 10 seconds press this one, you get parking lights on until you next turn your ignition on. It's got 3-stage heated grip on it, which do work, because I pressed button by accident and wondered why my hands were red hot when we got to Friday Top. Mirrors are good. So it didn't have a centre stand, it only came with a side stand. And that one, I'm going to make a foot on the milling machine. I'm going to mill a foot for that. It's way too high, so when you lean the bike over on the stand, it cranks right over its bike. It's way. I used to have an SV650 like that. That was the same. So when you're in garage here and there's a car here, you know, and you want to put it on the side stand, it comes right over. So I'm going to make a foot for that. They do sell them, but there's no point in buying some up when you can make it. So I found a centre stand for 99 quid. The F800s, they do an R, an ST and a GT. They're all the same frame, same engine, same everything. Wheels, it's just no fairing on R, and on the GT it's a slightly different fairing. So I bought that stand 99 quid second hand, and I've put that on other day. It's come with Acroprovic exhaust on it, which, and a carbon bracket, which apparently is an extra on the BM when you buy them. Hang on a sec. So, and I always had a back box. It's come with the genuine BMW hard luggage expandable boxes. They open up and carry a lot of stuff. You can get an helmet in, but I preferred this one. This I don't know, I'm not a lover of side panniers, especially when you're filtering in traffic. So I bought this one, and it's an Oxford one. It's alright, probably made in China or somewhere, but it's quite good in size. I'll show you, because it'll hold 2 full face helmets. So that's my Schubert C3 flip front, gloves, neck warmer, balaclava, the all important first aid kit, tyre pressure gauge, a disc lock, a little loop lock, visor cleaner, rags, bits and bats, but very handy. So yeah, that was £57. So I've wondered whether I'd be disappointed, because obviously getting rid of a lovely Multistrada, but the difference is 6,000 quid. I paid a lot of money for that Ducati. I bought it brand new, and I spent nearly £2,000 just on exhaust system for a Termagoni and upmap chip and everything. I put everything on that bike. I could have got it much cheaper, knew if I hadn't put all the stuff on it, but I did. But this, I mean, it's an 11 reg, done 43,000 mile. Where do you go with price on them? This were at a dealer's in Tadcaster, Eddie's, if anybody knows it, and it was £2,500. I went to have a look at it prior to going to look at another one that were much older, a 56 reg, and I was just smitten by it. As soon as I saw it, I thought, that is gorgeous. It's like a pearl is the colour. You probably won't appreciate it on camera, but it's got pearl in it. It's not actually white. It's called granite grey is the colour, unless that's granite grey and the other colour's something else, because in the book there were 3 colour codes, and one were a metallic black, which takes that top of tank and the bottom of the fairing, and then there's this grey, which is similar to my Vivaro van, and then that what looks white, but it's a pearl. Lovely, absolutely lovely, and to ride it handles so good because it's light, so you can flick it in, you know, in country lanes you can flick it round bends. So much nicer, so much nicer. No worry about it, you know, caving over on you, because I say on Multistrada, if you're doing really slow speed, tight twisties, S-bends, it were a bit of an handful. So just be so careful. But having said that, you snap throttle open on Multistrada, and next thing you were doing a ban. It were a driving licence ban with a twisted throttle in probably 3 seconds, and you'd be doing 100. It's so flaming quick. That's from moving. I think 2.9 to 60 or something like that on them. I think this is something like 4 or 4.2. But it's got a little touring screen on it. It's not too tall. Mirrors, great. Don't shake, shudder. Bike don't vibrate. It's like a little turbine running. I dare start it in here because I've got a CO2 monitor for my diesel heater, and I run it in here the other day with door open, my garage door, my electric door open, but some of it got into my workshop and it set that off, that alarm. It took me ages to blow all CO2 out of here. But it's just a bike, it's a twin cylinder, Rotax 800cc twin, 360 degree crank. Both pistons come up together. Apparently it's got a third balancer shaft in it as well, which makes them super smooth, and it is absolutely super smooth. I cracked throttle open and revved it out sort of second up to sort of fifth, as fast as it'd go, and it ain't bad. It's quite nice, and it keeps you from getting into trouble, I guess. At my age, you don't want to be getting into trouble. Okay, I just thought I'd show you that. What's replaced me Ducati, and saved myself £6,000. Yeah, because I took £8,500 for the bike. I put it up at 8,750, and I ended up with 8,500 for it. But yeah, what have I spent on it? I've taxed it monthly. I bought that back box at £57. That centre stand was £99 second hand. It's the only one I could find. My Optimate, long story that, but when my Ducati went in for service, it came back and my Optimate won't work anymore. So I ordered one. I thought it's blown for some reason or other. I've had it years, so I bought a new one off eBay, and it came, and I come to wire it all in, and I thought, somebody said to me, how do you know fuse hasn't gone on yours on the bike? I said, well, how will it? I took Kurt's seat off, and fuse for Optimate were blown to pieces. So somebody at Ducati Leeds, when they've been doing my belt service, has shorted that lead out. I don't know how they've done it, because it only had a pigtail on like that one. I've no idea how they did it, but they had. They'd blown fuse, put a new fuse in, it worked fine. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. It was just something I thought I'd put together, changing stock, etc., and going from, you know, an expensive motorbike to one much cheaper, much lighter, and especially much lighter on my savings account. As I say, that didn't cost much, didn't that, at BMW, and it's a lovely thing, and it rides absolutely superb. You can chuck it around, it's, you know, you can get off it and push it around. I dare push my Ducati if I wasn't sat on it, which made it difficult because it was a tall bike and it's very hard to manoeuvre, but I dare ever do it without being sat on it, pushing it backwards and forwards, and a few times slipped on gravel and that and thought I'd, you know, it were all over. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and hope you enjoyed it, and I suppose it's no interest whatsoever to anybody who's not interested in motorbikes. Okay, we'll see you on the next one, which will be part 18 of our hit and miss engine. We are making progress. Got some plate here ready to cut for the rocker arm. That's what I'm on with. Cheers.